Hey guys, we have a very powerful full moon total lunar eclipse that is playing out this weekend, which will also be a blood moon in the signs of Scorpio and Taurus. This is probably bringing some very profound and intense emotions. There is likely an emotional intensity that is building all weekend. Actually, the energy for Friday is kind of foreshadowing what is coming with this full moon lunar eclipse that is happening between Sunday night and Monday morning, depending on where in the world you are. And for me, the way I'm reading this energy, I feel like there is a special emphasis on the themes of value and also the themes of power. And I'm reading this as sort of like a collective karmic detox that is actually helping to align us or realign us with the authentic song of our heart. So we have a lot to talk about, you guys, in terms of what is coming at us, what we're building into, and what is unfolding with this very powerful full moon total lunar eclipse that we have playing out this weekend. So let's get into the chart, you guys, and talk about how all of this is operating. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. My name is Aubrey, and this is my analysis for this very profound and powerful full moon total lunar eclipse that we have coming at us this weekend. As I said in my intro, to me, the themes of value and power are the highlight of this particular moon and eclipse. And again, this karmic detox that is helping to realign us with the truth of our heart going forward through this 222 year, which is also trying to align us with the truth of our heart and therefore open us to be able to magnetize, attract, and receive those things that can bring us our heart's truest form of authentic fulfillment as we are transitioning paradigms right now into the age of Aquarius. Whenever I'm looking at any chart on my channel, you guys, whenever I'm talking about astrology, I'm always also looking at it, aside from how it's playing out, on the momentary basis, in the context of what it is doing for us energetically, vibrationally, to help us make this shift and transition into the age of Aquarius. And this, you guys, is a very, very powerful activation moment in this process. So we got a lot to talk about in terms of the energy, in terms of the chart, the astrology, the symbolism, how all of this is playing out. I am going to start this report by just basically describing this lunar eclipse, what eclipses do for us generally, what is a blood moon. Then we're going to move on and talk about the full moon specifically in regards to the eclipse. And then we're going to talk about the aspects that are happening on the side of the full moon that are a feature of this chart. And of course, the full moon energy carries us through the next 2 weeks as we close out whatever lunar cycle we're in. It really marks the halfway point in any lunar cycle. Right now we are in a Taurus lunar cycle. So this full moon lunar eclipse is marking the halfway point in that cycle and will be carrying us through the next 2 weeks. But also because this is an eclipse, this energy is likely to be unfolding over the course of the next 6 months. So we got some big business going on today. So let's start at the top, you guys. Full moon lunar eclipse, also a blood moon. What a blood moon is simply a full moon lunar eclipse. It's called a blood moon because during the eclipse, the shadow that is cast over the moon makes it appear like this reddish hue color. So blood moon is simply another name, another term for a full moon lunar eclipse. So we have that going on, and it is a full total eclipse because of its proximity, you guys, to the north and the south nodes of the moon. We have our eclipses each year, twice a year during eclipse season, when we have the new moons and the full moons in the same sign or in a close proximity to the nodes of the moon. So this time around, we have the nodes of the moon in Taurus and Scorpio. So when we are in Taurus season this year, this is our first eclipse season, and then when we move into Scorpio season, that will be our next eclipse season, because that is the next opportunity when the sun and the moon will be coming in proximity with the south node. Right now we're dealing with the north node being in Taurus, and so that is why we have Taurus season and eclipse season happening simultaneously. So the placement of the sun and the moon within proximity of the north and the south nodes of the moon ruling destiny and karma, where we're going and where we're coming from, the next phase of growth, the next lesson plan, and what we need to release and let go of in order to get there. That is what the north and the south node of the moon represent. And so when we're dealing with an eclipse, when the nodes are highlighted, this is generally more of a destined, fated, karmic time. Things have a tendency of playing out in divine alignment, in divine order, to help us release things from the past and move forward towards this next phase of growth in alignment with the jobs, the themes of the north and the south nodes of the moon. Now, eclipses generally represent rapid growth, major change, and also revelations. They can expose things to us. We're dealing with a full moon in Scorpio with the moon in close proximity to the south node of the moon. And this is the past. This is what we're releasing. This is what we're letting go of. This is what we are moving on from. Right now, for this full moon, we will have the sun and the moon coming together or actually coming to polar opposition from each other. That is what gives us our full moon, when the sun and the moon come to the exact, to the minute degree oppositionally from each other. And that is happening actually at exactly 25 degrees and 17 minutes of the signs of Taurus and Scorpio. But I want to let you guys know, as an astrologer, I read the Sabian symbols, which are a group of symbols that describe each and every one of the 360 degrees of the zodiac. Whenever we have a planet at a specific point discharging a degree, we can look to the Sabian symbol, and it just gives us an additional layer of clarity, like some additional symbolism through which we can interpret the aspects, sort of lay the symbolism as an overlay over the aspects. And I find it just gives us a greater comprehension of how those aspects are playing out and what they may mean for us. So as an astrologer, personally, I am always also referencing the Sabian symbols. And as a result of that, you guys, I'm rounding up a degree when I'm reading the degree placements for the charts, because energy moves in waves. And when we're looking at the Sabian symbols, we're really looking at the degree that the energy is pulling towards, the energy that is coming in and beginning to manifest, instead of the energy that is waning out and beginning to dissipate. So that being said, I am going to be reading 26 degrees of Scorpio and Taurus for the placement of the sun and the moon today, and the same goes for all the other planetary placements. When I'm reading the Sabian symbols, I'm rounding up a degree, but I wanted to let you guys know the exact to the minute degree placement for this full moon: 25 minutes and 17 degrees Taurus and Scorpio. And we have the nodes of the moon right now at 22 degrees of Taurus and Scorpio. So this is only like a 3 to 4 degree orb off separation, and it's so close. That is why this is giving us the total lunar eclipse that we have going on, because of the proximity of the north and the south nodes of the moon to the placement of the sun and the moon for their direct oppositional moment. And again, like I said, this is happening where I am in the world at 12:13 a.m. Eastern time. And you guys, another thing, I'm not ever just looking at the astrology. I'm looking at the symbolism. I'm looking at the numerology. I'm reading the energy across the board, essentially. And for me, seeing this just where I'm at, I know this is different for, everyone depending on where you are in the world, but I am looking at the chart from where, I'm at, and that's at 12:13 a.m. Eastern. And the fact to me also from a numerological standpoint that we have these consecutive numbers playing out for the exact time when this full moon is exact to the minute, I feel like this is also indicating that this is an unfolding sequence of events that is moving us forward in the proper trajectory. We're going from the 12 to the 13. This is things unfolding properly in, the context also of it being an eclipse and this more divinely timed hand of God, divine alignment, fated, destined energy that's playing out right now. So I wanted to mention that as well. But let's get back to talking about the specifics. We're talking about the moon and Scorpio. This is going to be bringing up some very deep, profound, and powerful emotions for the purpose of release, ultimately, you guys. And when we're talking about a lunar eclipse, especially a total lunar eclipse, this is when the shadow passes over the moon. It blocks the illumination of our emotional body, essentially, and it gives us this opportunity to purge and transform, therefore, our emotional state when we have a lunar eclipse playing out. It helps us to really see the depths and the roots of our own emotions, which helps us to come into alignment or gain a greater clarity in regards to our own emotional truths and identify this next area of growth, the north node where the sun is. The sun is in conjunction with the north node. The moon is in conjunction with the south node. So this is a period of emotional release, with the degree representing karma and release coming to the position with the moon representing our emotions, in terms of releasing some of this emotional baggage so that we can grow the sun and thrive in this new direction, the north node and the sun coming together. So this eclipse is likely going to be exposing to us a lot of the root and core issues of our more negative or toxic emotional states, the places that we've been surrendering power based on any lack of perceived value inside of us, helping us to actually deal with that and remedy that so that we can align with this authentic truth of our heart and begin to grow organically in the proper direction going forward, unencumbered from any of these more negative, self-sabotaging, subconscious programs from the past that we are purging and releasing galactically, cosmically, universally, collectively in this energy. Eclipses act as catalysts for abrupt endings and beginnings as well. They really sort of push us to make necessary changes a lot of times, again, in this very karmic, destined, fated way. And they are representing these fated alignments and these fated realignments, again, that have a tendency of playing out over the course of, this next 6 months while we move towards Scorpio eclipse season that's going to be coming in the fall. So seeing the depths of our own emotions, some very, very, very powerful negative emotions, you guys, may be surfacing in this energy, but it is for the purpose of us gaining an awareness of it, being able to see the truth of our own, emotional issues, essentially, so that we can release them, move on from them, realign with our heart's authentic truth, and be able to move forward in a way that truly helps us to grow and thrive. And in this 222 year, you guys, begin to open ourselves up to magnetize and attract these things that will bring us this ultimate emotional and physical, or just our soul's true version, our heart's true version of fulfillment is what universe is trying to align us with in this energy. But we really have to detox a lot of our past baggage in order to get there. And again, with the signs Taurus and Scorpio, I'm looking at this as a karmic detox. So releasing old toxic emotions and attachments so that we can recreate our lives and our world in alignment with authentic value, authentic truth, authentic potential, and authentic growth going forward. And I just want to let you guys know we're in Mercury Retrograde right now, and I wrote down a bunch of notes this morning to try to keep my thoughts cohesive and coherent as we go through this report, so I'm not just going off on all these weird tangents. So if you see me looking down, I'm referencing my notebook, trying to stay on task and not jump ahead of myself. So if you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking at, you guys. But let's talk specifically now about the full moon, the placements of this full moon, and how it's playing out now that we understand a little bit more about the eclipse generally and what those just, often have a tendency of doing for us. So we're talking about, again, I'm looking at the degree 26 of Taurus and Scorpio for this alignment. Now, the Sabian symbol, as I mentioned earlier, for 26 degrees of Taurus, where the sun will be for this full moon, is a Spaniard serenading his señorita. And then 26 degrees of Scorpio, where the moon will be for this full moon, is Indians making camp in a new territory. So these two symbols are saying a lot to me in the context of what we're going through. Indians making camp in a new territory. This is the position of the moon. What we are releasing right now is actually helping us to recreate our lives and recreate our world in a way that is aligned with the Spaniard serenading his señorita, with the song of our heart, with the truth of our heart, and what truly brings us back into this place of recognizing the truth of our value, our self-worth, and our self-love, which also happen to be Taurus themes. And we are in this Taurus season, and we are talking about a North Node in Taurus, restoration of personal value and the power that gives us and represents power being ruled by Scorpio as well. Very, very much so, I feel like the cosmic lesson that this full moon is trying to bring us. So with these 2 degrees in place, I feel like we are building a new life for ourselves, and it could be, you know, a drastically, radically different in a lot of ways. Indians building a camp in a new territory. This could be like a total fresh start for us in one way or another. But with that degree, the Spaniards serenading a senorita, I feel like it is definitely trying to align us again with this song that is going on in our heart, recreating our world in alignment with our authentic value, truth, potential, and growth. Now, another important planet that I want to look at in regards to the way this chart is playing out and this full moon that we have going on is the position of Venus herself, because Venus is ruling this entire cycle. Venus is the ruler of Taurus. We are in a Taurus new moon cycle right now, and Venus definitely, you know, is very significant because of that. Venus ruling the position of the sun today, of course, and also the North Node right now, and Uranus as well, which is the planet that rules our transcendence into the age of Aquarius, is also in the sign of Taurus right now. And so there's a special prominence being placed on Venus, and we need to pay attention to what's going on with her. And she today, for this activation moment, is at 16 degrees of Aries. That Sabian symbol is nature spirits are seen at work in the light of the sunset. So again, this is talking to me about this period of change that we may be going through right now, but that is also divinely supported. Nature spirits are seen at work in the light of the sunset. This is also talking about, you know, these themes of illumination. This is the light of the sunset, but the sunset, of course, also is transitioning us from day to night, which Taurus and Scorpio, day and night, like this is also kind of in alignment with the axis, the energetic axis that we are dealing with right now. And these nature spirits, this would be this more, divinely oriented energy that is helping to orchestrate things. We also, for this moment of this full moon, have Venus only 1 degree off conjunction from Chiron in the sky. And if you guys have been following my work, you know that our new moon in Aries this year also began in a 1 degree off orb conjunction to Chiron. Chiron is our wounded healer, teacher, master archetype. It rules the hero's journey. It rules transcending our states of victimhood into states of self-mastery based on wisdom gained through experience. And this is a very, very significant theme this entire year. And with Venus for this full moon today also being in a very tight conjunction to Chiron, I feel like this again is indicating that this karmic detox right now that is aligning us with the truth of our heart is also helping to activate this hero's journey within the collective of humanity, in which we are going through this healing process of self-discovery that helps us transform our states of victimhood into these states of self-mastery, which is an essential piece of the overall puzzle when we're talking about our transition into the age of Aquarius right now, which also is the age of self-knowledge, self-empowerment, and self-mastery, ultimately co-creation with God and universe. It brings us back to this golden age energy, which the age of Aquarius is helping to return to the collective of humanity over this next 2,000 years. So again, like very important planetary placements playing out that are indicating to me the significance of this activation of this transit in this overall unfolding of the cosmic blueprint in its operation right now, again, heading us into the age of Aquarius. Now I want to talk about the position of the nodes of the moon themselves for this eclipse full moon that we have going on today. The north node of the moon is at 22 degrees of Taurus. That Sabian symbol is a large white dove flying straight and fearlessly over troubled water. And to me, this symbolism is very relevant because we're talking about the large white dove. These are the Venus themes. This is peace, love, harmony, surrender, forgiveness, over troubled water. That would be that Scorpio energy, these turbulent, more negative, chaotic, powerful though emotions that we are moving away from. And I feel like with the north node at this degree for this activation that we have going on, it's talking about releasing negativity and aligning with those Venus qualities, that peace, love, surrender, and forgiveness to escape or to ascend out of these more turbulent negative emotions that we may have been navigating for a while and have been pulling us down, or again, keeping us out of our state of power as a result of any lack of recognition of the truth of the value that we hold within us, which is trying to be remedied, in my opinion, in this energy that we have going on right now. So I feel like, releasing and letting go of, freeing ourselves, liberating ourselves from these more painful, toxic, turbulent emotions, mindsets, programmings, beliefs about ourselves, and just generally about the way that life works of the past, letting go of old dogmas, really purging our past perceptions of things is what is opening us up to ascend out of this, essentially in alignment with these Venus qualities, this love, peace, forgiveness. All of that is our ticket out of the darkness, out of the troubled waters, out of the turbulence in this energy, with the North Node destiny, the next phase of growth, the next lesson, our lesson plan at this point in time being at this specific degree. Like, this is the lesson we need to learn to navigate this energy that we have going on. Now, the South Node of the Moon, 22 degrees of Scorpio, that Sabian symbol is hunters protected by heavy clothing are shooting wild ducks. And so again, I feel like this is referencing this energy helping us to free ourselves from any states of victimhood or powerlessness as a result of a lack of perception of the true strength and character and potential and value that we hold within us. And that is what we are rediscovering in this energy as we are releasing ourselves from the states of the past that have kept us from being able to align with those personal truths. And we also, you guys, have Jupiter recently moved into Aries, and this is bringing an energy as well that is all about expanding and really showing us our own personal truth in a way as well that makes us very passionate and inspired to fight for that personal truth happening in the sign of Aries. So releasing negative emotions and replacing them with these more Venus-oriented feelings, love, peace, forgiveness, surrender to what's happening right now at this point in time as well, surrendering the past so that we can open to receive what the future is trying to bring to us, and freeing ourselves as a byproduct of that from any states of victimhood or powerlessness that may have resulted. And again, this is reminding me of that Chiron archetype, Chiron in a 1-degree conjunction to Venus today, which is also helping us to alchemize and transmute and transform our states of victimhood into states of self-mastery. And it has a lot to do with this energetic shift going on within us, releasing these negative feelings and coming back into alignment with the truth of our heart, representing that love, peace, harmony, surrender, forgiveness, vibration, the white dove over the troubled water. I feel like this is really powerful symbolism that we have going on in the context of this also very powerful activation. Deep, intense, profound feeling, thoughts, and emotions. Very, very likely at this point in time. Let's talk about the aspects now. We've talked about the eclipse. We've talked about the full moon and the symbolism that is present for us today. Now I want to talk for just a minute about the aspects themselves and how they are playing out on the side of this moon that we have going on. Now, obviously, first of all, this is happening in a tight conjunction, 3-degree orb conjunction with the north and the south nodes of the moon. Themes of destiny and karma, as I've already stated, are involved with every eclipse season, are very, 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 very much activated in this energy that we have going on with this particular full moon eclipse as well. Now, another thing, this is happening, as I said, at 26 degrees Taurus and Scorpio. We currently right now have Saturn positioned in the sky at 25 degrees of Aquarius. This means that Saturn is going to be forming a very tight square to the full moon eclipse that we have going on. Saturn is the harsh disciplinarian, rules tests, challenges, karma as well. And Saturn, we have Saturn is bringing up the karmic nature of this eclipse full moon to a whole nother level when we have this square aspect with Saturn coming in. Saturn, the ruler of karma, the ruler of time, South Node also ruling karma. Very, very, very karmic energy that we are moving away from with this activation, but with Saturn being in the square to both the sun and the moon in Taurus and Scorpio, these are fixed signs that we're dealing in with you guys. And fixed signs also have a tendency of bringing up some resistance or some stubborn energy. So, the intensity may be sort of like off the charts in terms of what we're dealing with this weekend on this like emotional level. But Saturn in the sign of Aquarius forming these 90-degree angles, squares, they also bring up tension. They also can create conflict and feelings of intensity, and like we need to make a breakthrough in one way or another. And so this is also adding an additional layer of intensity and perhaps like frustration to what may be building in this energy this weekend. But Saturn ruling judgment and lessons and karma and challenges and restrictions and limitations and stuff like that, forming the square from the sign of Aquarius to the sun and the moon in conjunction to the nodes of the moon in Taurus and Scorpio. The lessons and the karma that we need to overcome right now, presenting perhaps some challenges or some obstructions or some lessons, again, that we need to learn, or some karma that we need to clear in order to make this karmic breakthrough in the direction, in the trajectory of the age of Aquarius, you guys. Saturn being in the sign of Aquarius. These are like the lessons that we need to learn at this point in time in order to make these karmic reliefs, to break these karmic cycles, to move forward in this new direction as universe is pushing us right now towards the age of Aquarius, testing us. We may feel like we are really being tested in the energy that is coming up this weekend. It could be presenting blocks or challenges to our growth and forward progress as well, and also could definitely be bringing up issues, conflicts, frustrations, limitations in regards to rules, authority, career, or again, any type of restrictions or limitations, and also like things having to do with time as well, maybe coming through with this. But definitely we may feel as though we are being tested and there are some roadblocks being put in our way or some challenges that we need to overcome, because these are the lessons that we need to learn in order to go through this karmic detox, in order to release these feelings and situations and really break ourselves free from the past, coming from this place of internal recognition of our authenticity and our truth and the value within us and the power that gives us to come into this place of self-mastery that can move us forward in alignment with the vibrations of the age of Aquarius. I feel like that is really what is being represented through Saturn in Aquarius, forming the square to the moon and the sun and the nodes of the moon at this point in time for this activation, this very powerful energetic activation that we have going on today. The next thing, I've already talked about this, but we do have Venus, ruler of this cycle, in the conjunction to Chiron, hero's journeys being activated. This is all ultimately for the purpose of helping us go through this transcendence. Chiron also rules lessons. I mean, Chiron is the wounded healer, teacher, master archetype. It's really all about learning about our original wounding that had brought us to this state of victimhood in the first place and caused us to surrender our power in the first place. And it takes us through this process of learning to take our power back, to come to this place of inner wholeness so that we can ascend into our higher selves in these states of self-mastery that allow us to co-create with God and universe going forward. Chiron archetype, very essential feature and vibration in association with our shift in transcendence right now into the age of Aquarius. So as I said earlier, I find an extreme significance in the fact that Venus is conjunct Chiron for this full moon today. Another thing that we have going on, and this is also very significant, you guys, the moon in Scorpio with that south node in Scorpio is also going to be forming almost an exact trine to Mars in a conjunction, almost an exact conjunction to Neptune in the sign of Pisces. These are water signs. We have the moon and the south node in the sign of Scorpio. We have Neptune and Mars 24 and 25 degrees right now of Pisces. So we're dealing with trine energy between these planets. And Mars in a conjunction to Neptune, you guys, this can sometimes have us in sort of a state of delusion about our own selves, not seeing our own power clearly. Mars and Neptune together have a tendency to really like cause this breakdown of the ego in one way or another. And it can cause us to experience feelings of weakness, inadequacy, and bring up all types of inferiority complexes. And again, with the trine from the South Node in Scorpio, talking about a release of the toxic negative perceptions and understandings and programming and emotional attachments of the past that keep us out of the state of self-empowerment. And we have that moon in the South Node forming a trine to Mars and Neptune in the sign of Pisces. I feel like this is actually going to help us release any state of illusion or delusion that we may have been operating under in regards to our own selves. Like if we have been operating under any type of an illusion of grandeur or just a very egoistic based illusion of ourselves, like this is the type of energy that's going to come through and show us our truth. If we've been operating under any type of delusion of our own self-worth or our own like personal potency or personal power and been feeling like inadequate and insecure and like we don't have what it takes in one way or another, this full moon is likely to help us release those self-delusions and come back in alignment with that authentic truth, the authentic value, and the self-empowerment that represents. So I feel like this aspect playing out as well is sort of feeding right into the whole like circuitry that we have going on as these light bulbs are coming on and we are coming back into this realization of the truth of our value and aligning with that song of our heart and heading out in this new direction once we can release and let go of these toxic, negative, emotional attachments of the past. Jupiter is also, as I mentioned, in the sign of Aries right now. Aries is ruled by Mars. Jupiter in Aries, while we have Mars in a conjunction to Neptune, this is going to likely be supersizing these Mars-Neptune themes that we have going on, which are up for release at this point in time. Also likely to have us, as I said, like Jupiter expands things. Jupiter also rules truth. Aries is a sign of the self. Personal truth expanded. Aries is also the sign of the warrior, a desire to really fight for our personal truths about ourselves that we are discovering during this period. You see how all of these pieces are sort of fitting together and just sort of like highlighting the same themes over and over. Spiritual warrior energy coming through here as well, and deep healing as well of perhaps some very psychic karmic wounds. This is healing generational trauma, you guys. This is releasing us from karmic cycles that have perhaps been going on generationally. Like we are in the cycle breaking period right now collectively with the way that this energy is playing out. And of course, we are transitioning paradigms as well. And we cannot transition paradigms from an energetic and vibrational level if we are still aligned with the past versions of reality in ourselves and all the karma that's played up until that point in time. So a lot of really deep, painful, emotional experiences may be going on right now, you guys, but I want you to understand, if you are going through that, it is because you are clearing the karma, not only of you, but of your ancestors. This is generational. This is generational trauma, generational karma that is being cleared in this energy. So these emotions that may be coming up right now, these psychic wounds that may be coming up right now may not even have that much to do with our own personal karma, but we're working on the behalf of our ancestors in this energy as well. And it's, Pluto, one of the rulers of Scorpio. Mars is the other ruler of Scorpio, you guys. And so with Mars and the conjunction to Neptune forming the trine to the South Node and the Moon, Mars being a ruler of Scorpio, this is even like putting a greater significance on Mars at this placement and clearing these illusions or delusions about our own self, our own power, our own potency, our own courage, strength, willpower, motivation, like tenacity, assertiveness, coming back into our power based on this value that we're recognizing within us. But also right now we have Pluto, the other ruler of Scorpio. Scorpio has two rulers, Pluto and Mars. Is at the very, very end and retrograde right now as well of Capricorn, which is also breaking down these long-standing orders of power, long-standing established power and control dynamics going on. So this is generational, you guys. This is way back karmic clearing, karmic cycle breaking that we are dealing with right now. So we should not be too hard on ourselves if it's painful or if we're experiencing like some very cathartic feelings, because it is on behalf of all of those who came before us, and we are doing what is necessary right now to liberate ourselves from any of the darkness or the negative programming of the past that has carried through and can no longer perpetuate, because we are shifting paradigms right now. And the age of Aquarius, again, self-empowerment, self-enlightenment, self-knowledge, self-mastery, co-creation with God and spirit. We can't do it out of the karmic attachments of the past. So wiping the slates clean in this energy as well. Spiritual warrior, fighting for personal truth, redefining our view and perception of ourselves, freeing ourselves from negative subconscious programming of the past. We also have Mars today at 24 degrees of Pisces. That Sabian symbol is an inhabited island. And Neptune at 25 degrees of Pisces, the purging of the priesthood. To me, purging of the priesthood, this is the purging, which is definite keyword, Pluto, Scorpio, of the past dogmas, belief systems that we have been attached to that have been causing us to surrender our power to something and keeping us from seeing the truth of the value within us and the actual ability for self-empowerment that represents. Purging the priesthood so that we can become what? An inhabited island. Much more self-reliant, self-sustaining, and having an ability to really like manage and master and govern ourselves based on these resources and this value that we hold within us. The purging of the priesthood, helping us come back to a place of personal self-empowerment and an ability to thrive based on the resources that we hold within us. So I find that to be pretty powerful as well, you guys. And the last thing that I really want to talk about in the context of the aspects going on the side of this chart today is that we do also have 2 planets retrograde at this point in time, almost stopped in the sky. So there is an extra emphasis on these planets as well. Pluto, one of the rulers of Scorpio, recently stationed retrograde, which means he's like barely moving, just kind of like holding. Pluto moves really slow anyways. And with Pluto stationed having just gone retrograde, Pluto is just basically like stationary, emanating his frequencies in the sky. And we also have Mercury recently stationed retrograde just a couple of days ago, also moving very slow and putting another prominence on Mercury as well. So this is transformative thoughts, you guys, transformative perspectives going on, transforming our old thoughts, understandings, mindsets, viewpoints, attitudes, perspectives, all of that stuff that is represented by Mercury and Pluto in combination. Now we have Mercury today, you guys, at 4 degrees of Gemini. That Sabian symbol is holly and mistletoe, reawaken old memories of Christmas. So actually, these transformations in terms of our thoughts, our perspective, our mind, our viewpoints, our attitudes, our beliefs that is going on right now, I feel like with Mercury at this degree is actually to help us reawaken to our original authentic truths and the gifts that those actually represent for us. This is also, I feel like, it brings up more of these like nostalgic themes, and there's a childhood aspect to it as well, reawakening old memories of Christmas. And I feel like, again, this is asking us during this Mercury retrograde period to really try to gain a better understanding and come back into alignment with the authentic truth of who we really are, how our mind really works, what we're naturally interested in, what we naturally gravitate to, what we enjoy to think about and to talk about, and using that to navigate our trajectory sort of back into this place of authentic alignment with this song of our heart, reawaken old memories of Christmas in terms of what's going on with the mind in this Mercury retrograde process, where we are reconsidering, reevaluating, reconfiguring our own perceptions, our own thought processes, possibly in alignment with the gifts and what can bring us gifts as well. We are trying to unlock our talent, our potential, our gifts from remembering who we really are, what we really stand for, what our personal truth really is outside of the toxic attachments that may have been keeping us blind to that, essentially. So I find that to be beautiful as well, you guys. So Overall, as I said, karmic detox, following the song of our heart, themes of value, themes of power in regards to releasing ourselves from the toxic attachment to which we have been, surrendering our own power out of any lack of perceived value within us, really rediscovering the value, the talent, the gifts, the potentials within us at this point in time. Mercury retrograde at that degree as well, rediscovering these things, which is opening us up to self-love and self-worth and the truth of that value, which is actually restoring our sense of internal empowerment. Mars and Neptune together in the trine to the moon and the south node in Scorpio, releasing any sense of illusion or delusion about ourselves that has been also disempowering us in one way or another, so that we can move forward, you guys, along this path, along this trajectory of genuine growth in alignment with what will bring us our heart's true fulfillment in this 222 year transitioning into this age of Aquarius. So that is what I have to say for the energy we have playing out today. I feel like after we go through this period of time and then over the next 6 months, you guys, because this is an eclipse, take 6 months to really unfold. I feel like we're going to begin to see ourselves sort of in a whole new light. Very faded, very karmic time, massive transformation, massive release, purge, purification, regeneration, and healing as well of our emotional body. So that's what we got going on in the chart, in my opinion, in my analysis of this full moon, total lunar eclipse, blood moon that we have coming in, again, overnight on the 15th and the 16th. Now, before I let you guys go, if you've made it this far, I do want to talk specifically about also the energy that we have playing out for Friday. Usually when I do these reports on the weekend, I do a weekend report and I do Friday, Saturday, and Sunday energy, except for, when we have a full moon or a new moon, I'll just focus on that, and that's what I was doing for this video. But I also wanted to talk for a minute about the energy on Friday, because I didn't want to leave that day out, because there is a special significance going on Friday as well. And like I said in my intro, I feel like the energy for Friday is sort of foreshadowing where this eclipse is taking us. So if you guys want to stick with me for just a brief minute, I am going to talk about the energy that we have going on for Friday as well. And on Friday, the 13th, now this is before the eclipse happens on the 15th, 16th. I'm talking about the energy for Friday, May 13th. We have the sun coming to 23 degrees of Taurus. That Sabian symbol is a jewelry shop filled with valuable gems. We also have the Earth, which is always in a polar opposition to the sun, coming to 23 degrees of Scorpio. That Sabian symbol is a bunny metamorphosized into a fairy. We also have Venus, ruler of the cycle that we're in right now, 13 degrees of Aries. A bomb which failed to go off is now safely hidden from discovery. And we have Mars at 22 Pisces, a prophet bringing down the new law from Sinai. And so just based on, first of all, these Sabian symbol placements that we have on Friday, these are specifically talking about this restoration of value, a jewelry shop filled with valuable gems, helping us to see and perceive the value of what we hold inside and the abundance, the resources, the potential that has the opportunity to extrapolate outward into. And then the position of the Earth, the bunny metamorphosized into the fairy. This to me is talking about this transmutation, this alchemization of these lower states that may have been based in more victimhood or fear mindsets into these states of like ultimate self-mastery, self-empowerment, working with God and universe and the magic essentially of this reality. I feel like that is being described by the position of the sun and the earth on Friday as we are building into this full moon eclipse, which to me is talking about and representing literally the exact same things. Also Venus, the bomb which failed to go off, now safely hidden from discovery. Something about the fated nature of the realignments that are going on right now and the cycles that we are breaking ourselves free from, actually changing the trajectory of our future by helping us to avert some type of negative scenario that may have really thrown us off course. And then Mars 22 Pisces, the prophet bringing down the new law from Sinai, so that we can start working in alignment with the new laws of this new reality that are coming through in correspondence to the age of Aquarius, which is why all of this is happening, so that we can energetically and vibrationally shift in alignment with these new frequencies that are coming in and really begin to go through this process of empowerment, self-enlightenment, self-healing, self-knowledge, self-mastery, and ultimately co-creation with God and universe in correspondence with the new laws of this reality, age of Aquarius, that are coming through right now. So I feel like the symbolism present on Friday is really significant as well in terms of showing us really, you know, what is going on as we are building into this full moon, foreshadowing the eclipse for sure. Also on Friday, we have a moon in Libra, again, ruled by Venus, which is going to be forming an opposition to Chiron in the sky. Again, talking about this hero's journey that is so much a theme of our full moon that is happening on the 15th, 16th, and also this entire lunar year that we are in right now as a result of our new moon in Aries having been in a conjunction to Chiron, reflecting, this is the moon in opposition to Chiron, reflecting on our experiences and what we've learned and how it's affected us, the wisdom that we've gained through our experiences and what we've discovered and what that really means for us now, and also having us seeking this healing hero's journey with the moon in Libra, seeking inner peace, seeking inner harmony, seeking a resolution, seeking balance, seeking healing, coming into the opposition with Chiron and Aries. Now, the moon in Libra is also, this is an air sign, so the moon in Libra is also going to be forming a trine to Saturn, which we talked about earlier, who is in the late degrees of Aquarius right now, another air sign. So it's like what work also is being referred to on Friday, what work must be done to get there. And then as we get into this chart for this full moon, we have Venus, the ruler of this cycle, in the conjunction to Chiron, which the moon is opposing on Friday, and also this full moon forming the square to Saturn, showing us these lessons. So I feel like Friday, it's really, you know, talking about like priming us for what is to come with the energy that is unfolding on the full moon eclipse and also over the course of the next 6 months, because this is an eclipse. What work must be done to come to this place of restored wholeness, essentially balance, peace, harmony, self-love, self-worth, self-value within us. So, and you know, like I said, the white dove flying over troubled water, the position of the sun for this full moon that we have going on. So transformation very much underway to show us our true value, resources, and potential being referenced in the chart on Friday, which is absolutely like building right into all the exact same themes that we have playing out for our full moon. Another thing, you guys, there could definitely be an emphasis. I forgot to mention this when I was talking about the specifics of the full moon, but there could definitely be an emphasis on like financial stuff going on, financial markets, resources, food, supply chains, all of that type of stuff could also be very much implicated in this energy. And there may be, you know, some issues with it over this next 6 months as well. So wanted to mention that before I forgot. So if you made it this far in the video, I guess you got a little bit of information that I forgot to include in the first part. You know, that always happens. Like when I shut this video off, I'll think of like 5 more extra things that I wanted to say in addition, but it is what it is. What comes out, and you know, it just goes how it goes. So that's what we're dealing with, you guys. I'm not doing cards today because I've already been talking for so long. So I will be back with the tarot cards and the synchronicity cards on Monday, but I did want to give you guys just, you know, the Friday energy as well, because I find it to be very interesting how like specifically on point Friday is in foreshadowing what is coming with this eclipse Sunday into Monday. So that's what we got, you guys. There's the report. There's the analysis. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope I was able to provide something for you that can give you some type of assistance or clarity or I don't know, whatever you need is navigating this energy that we have going on this weekend. Again, try not to be too hard on yourselves because this is generational stuff that we're dealing with. So it could be very deep, complex, powerful emotions coming up. But anyways, that's what we got, you guys. If you did like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends if you think they would be interested. Leave me comments, you guys. I absolutely love your comments. They mean so much to me. I appreciate each and every one of you so, so much. I have a Facebook page, a Facebook group, a website, and some other social media stuff that are in my description box below. And come back with me on Monday, you guys. We will have a lot more astrology to talk about coming out of this very powerful energetic activation that we had going on over the weekend. So I will be here. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it. And I will see you then, everybody. Wishing you a beautiful full moon lunar eclipse, and I will see you on Monday. Bye, guys.